hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where I break down the most controversial subjects, the most contested debates, the most interesting subjects going on in the world today. And tonight is no different. I'm so happy to see y'all. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It was a crazy one for me. Lots of running around, lots of frustration with travel, but all in all, an amazing weekend of events. To be specific, I was able to speak at this at Creed, North Carolina. I don't know if you've heard of it, probably haven't. But the Center for Racial Equity in Education in North Carolina. I was able to speak at their annual conference, and shout out to all the amazing teachers out there who are helping fight for equitable treatment for Black, Latinx, Indigenous, and Asian students in the North Carolina public school system. Those educators are doing amazing work, and I was happy to be able to speak to them. I'm glad I was able to engage them. So just shout out to y'all, love to y'all. I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you all. And of course, I spoke at the American Educational Research Association conference yesterday. I was able to have a very serious conversation and read a paper that I wrote for an upcoming issue of the Harvard Educational Review on scholasticide as a form of settler colonial praxis. So I feel really good about the work that I'm doing. I feel really good about the people I was able to engage. And I feel a great deal of pride that so many people out here in the world are committed to the work of liberating our people. So that's just dope. So thank you all for that. Shout out to some people who were up late hanging with your brother. I don't know how I say, hey, Mark, I didn't think I'd make it, but I'm feeling restless, so I'll listen to you instead of sleep. Y'all killing me with the hot. Yeah, yo. One thing this crew know how to do is make you pay for being trifling. I mean, we will drag you with these jokes, and that's exactly what they're doing. Leslie Young, what up? What up? Malik said, what was the paper? The paper is about Israeli scholasticide. Sort of looking at the context of post-October 7th, but looking in a broader kind of context of settler colonialism. So let's get to it. I see y'all are up. Y'all are ready to talk. Let me know if you have questions. Again, as always, please drop any one-on-one questions. You got a question for me or challenge to me? It's cool. I love it. Just put it in the comments. Put it send it as a super chat, and I'll make sure I read it tonight. I'll make sure I engage it tonight, and make sure I answer it tonight. Also, shout out to the great Maria Makaba for this Radicalize You shirt. One of the great abolitionist leaders in the world today. Oh, such love. Norma Joseph, thank you for your work. Want to show love and support love. Zohra, thank you. You don't know how much it means to me to receive this kind of stuff. I see Logan saying you're going to talk Canadian election. Not tonight, but I'm happy to talk it. Tonight we're going to talk about an important story around Marco Rubio, and then we're going to talk some pop culture stuff. I am excited. I'm excited to do that. Jazz LP, Dallas' finest, said, Mark, I challenge you to bring back on Dr. Melissa. Y'all want me to bring my much better half back on to keep showing me up on the show. I'm happy to do that too. We just got to find some time. She herself teaches Monday night, so tonight would be a great time to have her on, but it doesn't work out schedule-wise. But later in the week, let's make it happen. I'm always excited to have her on. I love talking to her, so kill two birds. I think the challenge has been just making it work life-wise. I don't understand. Okay, I'm done. We stand, Mrs. Melissa. I know y'all like her better than me. It's fine. I know. Anyway, we need to talk about some stuff. So let's get to it, because I know y'all have thoughts. I got thoughts too. So let's get to those thoughts. let's start first with Marco Rubio, little Marco, as his now boss and friend Donald J. Trump calls him. Anyway, Marco Rubio just pulled a fast one on the State Department. And the thing is, it seems like nobody, or at least hardly anybody, is talking about it. This week, Marco Rubio said the quiet part out loud, claiming that the State Department's Human Rights Office has been, quote unquote, taken over by left-wing activists trying to block U.S. weapons from going to Israel. What's the solution, you might ask? Good question. He says we'll shrink the office, we'll change the name, and we'll tuck it away where it can't make any noise. That's bad enough, but there's actually a hustle to this. Even critics say that the State Department has never really held Israel accountable. Folks have been saying it for years. The department looks the other way when Israel grossly violates international human rights standards, when there's a direct letter of the law violation. They do it all the time. And it happens under Trump. It happens under Biden. It happens under any U.S. president. Now, Josh Paul, a top State Department official, straight up quit after Gaza got bombed, saying that the United States' support for Israel's attacks would only cause more bloodshed on both sides. Still, the White House, as you know, and as I've been saying for over a year now, has kept the weapons flowing, only halting one bomb sale, and that was to save political face during an election season. Rubio's move isn't about stopping fake activism. It's about silencing the few places inside the government where somebody might even think about putting human rights over politics. Do you realize how bizarre it is? How bizarre it is for the United States to be so committed to not just supporting an ally. We support allies. Nation states support allies. But to support an ally that is so clearly on the wrong side of history, so clearly engaged in acts of violence and moral turpitude so egregious that even the most rogue nations in the world, the most egregious violators of human rights, other than the United States, and we are one, are saying, wait a minute, this is too far. And yet still, the United States is willing to double down. And still, the United States is willing to sacrifice or surrender political clout, diplomatic clout, moral authority, not that we haven't really had any, all of it, in this weird, bizarre commitment to supporting the Israeli apartheid state. We got to stop this. We got to stop this. But Marco Rubio is not going to be the person to do it. Donald Trump is not going to be the person to do it. Now, again, this is not an issue that is reducible to party. This is not one of the things where we can just vote our way into a different political arrangement with Israel. The United States is 10 toes down with Israel. For Democrats, 10 toes down for Republicans. At the core is we have to dismantle and disrupt this relationship. How do we get there? That's the question. That is the question. Forgive me, my allergies is hitting me hard. All right, y'all. Hit that like button as Leslie Young instructs you. Please and thank you. I share that sentiment. Henry Jackson writes in and says, the United States is not allowing itself to be directed by ICJ or ICC. Hence, the U.S. are violators of human rights. That is absolutely correct. And and ignoring the ICC also makes you probably a war criminal. It doesn't necessarily have to, but we are. It doesn't have to make you that, but again, we are. Have you read the new drop site report exposing AOC's claims of Harris, quote, tirelessly working toward a ceasefire as a total lie? We all thought it was. Absolutely, I sure did. In fact, you know, there's a wonderful tweet that Ilhan Omar published or posted maybe a couple hours ago, saying, hey, turns out Harris wasn't tirelessly working toward a ceasefire, because Biden himself basically said, hey, we weren't really working toward a ceasefire all that hard. The reason why that's interesting, one, because it speaks to the ruptures in the squad, right? Because that was a not so subtle criticism of AOC. Now, I think it's amazing that Ilhan was able to speak out and say that, but I think the bigger issue here is, of course, the problem itself, which is that the United States was never working toward a ceasefire. This is all political theater. This is all smoke and mirrors, all designed, again, to make it seem as if there is a commitment to ending the wanton and random and senseless and ceaseless violence being perpetrated against the Palestinian people. That's all I got to say about that. All right, we got another comment coming in. The Hustle and Highlighter crew. Let's have an academic panel about the snow bunny effect regarding Shannon Sharpe and others. I volunteer as the white heel. Thank you for your selfless sacrifice, Bullet. We always appreciate that. But in seriousness, this Shannon Sharpe thing is kind of fascinating. We'll get to it another time to get the depth of it. But my Lord, Black Queens forever, as the God told us. Let's get we have one more comment, and I think that's it for now. We had that was all the most recent comments. Anyway, let's jump up to the next story because it is of the utmost importance. It is the utmost. Stephen A. Smith, he's been in the news a lot lately, and now he is again. And this time, he's actually saying what a lot of people are thinking, and he didn't hold back. After Shedeur Sanders got prank called during the NFL draft by none other than the son of the Falcons defensive coordinator, Stephen A. went off on live TV. He said, plain and simple, that boy need his ass whooped. Now, he's old enough to be able to say that, right? Like, I don't mean Stephen A., I mean the boy is. Like, if it's for like a 13-year-old, I would not be condoning this. I do not support child abuse. I do not support spanking, which is just another form of child abuse, is beating. I don't support any of that. But this kid is grown. He's 21. We'll talk about that. Anyway, Shedeur's draft weekend was rough. I mean, really rough. He was supposed to go in the first round in some people's minds. I think the second round would have shocked people. He ended up going the 5th round. Then somebody with access to his private draft phone number tried to make a fool out of him. Just listen to this, because I can't do it justice, and I think it was just such an awful thing to do to somebody, and I don't understand why you'd want to do this to somebody who hasn't done anything to you, but this is the cruelty of the world, and this is also sort of like internet culture. So anyway, pay attention to this and see for yourself.
Hey, is this Shedeur? This is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
It's can't just be nothing to do.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
He bought it.
Wow, he bought it. He bought it. Yeah, he bought it, dickhead. He it's the most important day of his life. It's the greatest day of his life, and he was waiting for a phone call on a private line from the NFL franchise who would draft him. And instead of allowing him to just be drafted, you all had to do this stupid, humiliating, disrespectful, mean-spirited prank. Anyway, it turns out that the person doing the prank was 21-year-old Jax Ulbrich, the coach's son, from Atlanta, not from New Orleans, but from Atlanta. He went to his daddy's old files and he said, let me make a prank. This could have cost somebody their career. This could have cost, it damn near cost his dad his job. This is the craziness. It was cruel. It was dangerous. It was reckless, especially now with how quick the NFL is to throw people under the bus without facts. So anyway, Stephen A. Smith did a wonderful job breaking this down. He did an amazing job giving us context and explaining why this was. Anyway, just watch it.
Where is the picture of the kid? See, it's not criminal, but it's unethical, it's classless, it's amoral to some degree. And I I'd like to see the face of that kid, because sometimes you need to be embarrassed. That's what needs to happen to you. Now, in my opinion, this kid, I sincerely hope, to Jeff Ulbrich, I sincerely hope he whipped his kid's ass. That's an ass whipping. That is a required ass whipping. So your dad is a defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. You go into his laptop computer and find a number for Shedeur Sanders. You prank call him. First of all, it was cruel and it was classless to Shedeur. It jeopardized your dad. What if the Atlanta Falcons didn't believe it was your dad, that it was just you? What if they had believed it was him? And I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. I don't believe that man did. I don't believe he had anything to do with this. I think it would be unfair to accuse him of that. But what if the Falcons didn't believe him? What if the NFL didn't believe him? Your dad could have lost his job. And because you want to prank somebody, okay, and be cruel and insensitive, knowing what Shedeur must have been going through, you would be some privileged little brat that would do something like that and take joy out of somebody's misery like that at the expense of your father. Right now, who was thinking about, we've talked about a lot of things in football. Have we ever talked about Jeff Ulbrich? Have we ever mentioned him on national television? But he's a household name this morning because his son didn't think about his daddy, who unquestionably loves him, took care of him, raised him. You in college now, no doubt still living off daddy. And you would do something like that to him. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should have your ass whipped. I know you're 21. But at the very least, roll up on campus and slap you upside your damn head. What an insensitive thing to do. And even just as equally to Shedeur is what he did to his own father. At no time did he think about the consequences, the potential consequences. This could come back to my dad since I got it from his computer. It ain't like you got Shedeur Sanders from one of your boys or something. You went into your dad's work computer and did this.
And it wasn't just.
I have a
question. This is one of those times where I think 90% of the world, maybe more, agrees with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen can be polarizing. Some people love to hate him, love to disagree with Stephen A. I happen to think Stephen A. is 100% right on this. I mean, I don't know about whooping anybody's ass. You know, again, I don't care if your kid's 1 or 21. We're not whooping ass, but I wouldn't even put it on the page if he weren't an adult, a grown man. But the kid. But look, kids make mistakes. Kids do dumb things. Kids make bad pranks. So I'm not going to say this kid is irredeemable. I just don't believe I just don't see anybody in this context as being beyond that. But while he's not beyond redemption, it's such a jerk move, and I don't have any sympathy for him. I do think that there needs to be some kind of serious penalty. I don't know from whom. I mean, the college can't really kick him out for that, and I'm not saying they should, but I mean, it's not the college's jurisdiction. It's not the NFL's jurisdiction. It's like, it's just, and he's a grown man, so I don't know how to deal with it. But seeing this kid do this was really disappointing. And the fact that he videotaped himself is even more telling. We're in this society where people want to be famous so bad. People want to be known so badly. People want to be understood as somebody who matters. And so even when you're doing this incriminating, this cruel act, you're incriminating yourself, because for you to do this act it's not enough. To be able to make the joke is not enough. Everybody needs to see it. And it has become an international spectacle. And you got the international spectacle, young man. You got exactly what you were asking for. So I hope the world treats you the way you deserve for this action. What a jerk, man. It's just so cruel. Henry Jackson said, I think I guess you're not being a bit too gracious excusing his entitlement. I'm not excusing his behavior at all. I'm saying it was cruel, inexcusable, awful. I don't have any sympathy for whatever happens. I'm just saying I don't know what we can do. He didn't he didn't violate any rules of the university he's in. Like, you know, being in the dorm making a prank call doesn't get you kicked out of college. You know, you can't arrest him for it, right? It's a. I mean, I'm just saying, I literally don't know if there's anything that can be done. But regardless, God, this is awful. God, you know, man, I hope you learned a valuable lesson from this, from the shame and the exposure and all that. But maybe you won't. Maybe the world will just treat it like another internet prank and not care. You are, after all, a white boy, you know, going after a black boy. Two young men are going at it, you know, are engaged in this as characters, and because the white man is the one at fault. To me, it's he's just a kid. He's just having fun. He's just you know, boys will be boys. It becomes that kind of narrative, which is all about privilege, and it's really, 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 really disappointing. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. I got another story for you. I want to talk about this Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley thing, because woo-wee, you really find out who and what people are when something's at stake. So we'll take a break. We'll be back in 30 seconds. 30 segundos. And we will be talking about this news story because it is so fascinating. Stay with me, y'all.
Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. All right, family, welcome back. It is such an interesting time. Woo-wee. Oh, what a world we live in, man. We got a lot of pop culture stuff happening. Can't wait to talk about more of it with you all this week as we mix it in with politics. And of course, I'll be on the Joe Budden podcast, where you can catch me giving deep pop culture commentary, among other things. You should be able to see that on Wednesday on YouTube, on Patreon, and Thursday on YouTube. Make sure you check that out as well. But let's talk about, this is why you can't take people from New York. Saquon Barkley. I want to talk about Saquon Barkley. Can we talk about Saquon Barkley? I'll break the story down if y'all don't know. Just stay with me for you non-football fans, you non-American football fans, I should say, because you know, football means something else elsewhere, as it should. Let's get to it. All right. Saquon Barkley is doing an excellent job pissing people off this weekend. I mean, he had folks heated Saturday and Sunday, and it wasn't about football. Take a look at this. I want y'all to see this. As you know, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl winners, my Philadelphia football Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, they went to the White House this weekend. They were there, as all teams who go to the White House do after winning a major championship. They were there to celebrate their win. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and they were there to show up and show out. And look at these photos. I think I put the wrong thing up. I think I pulled the wrong thing up. Look at this. Just look at this, y'all. I think you'll understand my frustration. Why do you people do this? Do y'all see this? This is your boy Saquon Barkley, who spent the day not just going with his team as a kind of pro forma visit to the White House. Nah. Your boy spent Sunday golfing with Donald Trump. Then he hopped a flight with Trump straight to D.C. as if it was just all good. And when fans called him out, and you know the fans called him out, Saquon got indignant. He clapped back, and he was not trying to hear any of the foolishness that some of y'all Negroes are talking about, which is unfortunate because you Negroes were right. Look at this. This is him just laughing when he don't itch and laugh, scratching when he don't itch and laughing when he is not tickled. You see Donald Trump here talking to some of the players,
You see Saquon standing next to Donald Trump, taking a photo with Ivanka and her 11-year-old son, Joseph. Here's Saquon Barkley next to Jared Kushner at a conference earlier this month. Saquon Barkley is down with the Trumpers. I'm not saying he votes for him. I'm not saying he's political in that way, but he's certainly don't mind showing up for the Trumps. And it's interesting. It could be a business move for him. It could be whatever. I don't want to speculate on the young man's choices. What I will speculate on is the impact of these choices. Well, it don't take long to get how Saquon sees the impact of it, because he responded. He responded to everybody. He said, "Get out of my mentions with all of the politics." He said, because again, I don't want y'all to think that I'm being dramatical. I don't want y'all to think that I'm exaggerating. I don't want y'all to think that I'm just saying stuff to be saying it. Look at Saquon's tweet. I'm gonna pull it up for you if you can't see it. He said, "LOL, some people are really upset because I played golf and flew to the White House with the president. Maybe I just respect the office. Not a hard concept to understand. Just golfed with Obama not too long ago and look forward to finishing my round with Trump. Now you get out of my mentions with all this politics and have an amazing day." And I'm being a little generous with the grammar there, but that's neither here nor there. Look. You know what? Let me just pull something for y'all. One more again, because I'm not sure that you got to see this, and I apologize. I'm just gonna pull this one more time for you. I think we had a little tech difficulty there, but you can see it, right? Your boy said this. "Some people are really upset because I played golf and flew to the White House with the president. Maybe I just respect the office." Let's think about what that means. First of all, nobody's upset that you played golf. Literally nobody cared that you played golf and flew to the White House with the president. It's the second half, right? It's not that you flew to him. This is an endorsement. You don't mean it as an endorsement, Saquon, but running around, you're normalizing this man to a group of people who are looking for reasons to normalize him. He said, "Maybe I just respect the office." Not a hard concept to understand. It is a hard concept to understand, right? Not respecting the office, respecting the office in this case. The question is, why do you respect the office? People always say that. It's such a cheap, easy excuse. I don't respect. It's not about the president. It's about the office. It's not about the president. It's about the presidency. Why are we so hyped to respect the presidency? What is it about the U.S. presidency that's so sacred, so sacrosanct, and so beneficial to Black folk that we should be respecting the office just because? He ain't the Pope. Right? If you're Catholic, you say, "You know what? This Pope's a little different than how I see him, but I respect the office. I respect the title." I can get that. There's a lot of jobs, a lot of positions you can say that about, but this president demonstrates no character that is worth respecting, no political vision worth respecting. And the fact that he's done those things or ascended to the presidency to do those things by mechanisms and means that we also find objectionable, all of it says, hey, maybe he shouldn't show up to the White House. But Saquon Barkley is going to do what Saquon Barkley is going to do. And he tried to play cool. I respect the office. He also mentioned that he golfs with Obama, or he's golfed with President Obama too. But this isn't about that. It's not about golf. It's about what you've been doing. And the people all over the internet have been saying, look, Saquon is doing the wrong thing. One writer, content creator, here's why Kevin clocked some tea on Thread saying, "I didn't realize people didn't know Saquon was a Black Republican. I've met the man. He's MAGA. Having brunch with Trump was probably a dream come true." So that's the next level of this, right? This isn't just I'm not calling him an idiot, but someone's a useful idiot for MAGA, right? Like, he ain't know. He's just doing his thing, right? He just respects the office. He just wants to play football. No. By my sources and what people are saying, you actually are pro-Trump. And this becomes a way of normalizing Trump and making it seem like you're just taking a neutral, you're just doing the athlete thing. Thank God there are people who aren't like him. Thank God there are people who actually think and take seriously political resistance, political awareness, political consciousness. People like Jalen Hurts, who said he couldn't make it because of a scheduling issue. Yeah, the scheduling issue was who all gonna be there? Trump is? Oh yeah, my schedule won't accommodate that, right? Like I'm not scheduling nothing with Donald Trump there. It was the bottom line. This man is the quarterback of the team. He's the star of the team. He's an emerging international superstar, certainly from the football perspective. And he wasn't there. It could be a blow to his image. It could make him a little less desirable to some folks. It feels like a political choice, and he doesn't want to be marked as one thing or the other in the mind, at least in the minds of his publishers and publicists and agents and stuff and such. But Jalen Hurts didn't care. He said, "I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to speak up and speak out because it's the right thing to do." So, shout out to Jalen Hurts for not showing up, and some of the other Philadelphia Eagles who didn't show up. And to all you fools out there that think it makes sense to show up to the White House and snap pictures because you respect the office, you respect the presidency. Which one? The one that said you should be slaves? The one who resisted you being free? The one who ended the welfare state? The one who criminalized and set the standard for mass incarceration? What is it about the presidency or a particular president that gets y'all so hyped that y'all going to say, I'm going to extend all my energy to y'all get what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And so Saquon Barkley is not singular. He is one of many people who made that stupid choice. And I have no sympathy for him. I somehow blame New York for this. It just feels like, he's a giant. Something snapped. I don't know. But he ain't the same person. But whatever. Anyway, Saquon, 2 thumbs down to you. Jalen, 2 thumbs up for you. Everybody who's supporting the channel and supporting me, 2 thumbs up for you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest. Anyway, that's it for Night School tonight. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're so inclined, hit that join button and become a monthly paid subscriber to the network family. We are at the end of the month. It's April 28th. We only got 2 days left after this, and it is so important for us to be able to pay our bills. It's so important for us to be able to reach our audience through different diversified content. It's so important for us to do the work that we do all around the world. So if you can support us, go to memberships and just grab a membership. Or if you already have one, think of moving from bronze to silver or silver to gold / platinum, whatever makes sense for you. But also, if you can't make a monthly commitment, just make a one-time drop in single class donation, right? Go to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle and say, hey, I liked what I saw today. Go to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle and say, hey, I enjoyed the show. I learned something. Go to these platforms and say, hey, I want to invest in independent media, radical media, mainstream media. It doesn't do enough. We need something else. We need an alternative outlet. And I love that it's Black owned and operated. I support Night School, so I'm going to donate to MLH TV or TV MLH or whatever you see on the screen there. Just please consider doing that. No amount is too small. If everybody watching did $1, it'd be amazing. If everybody did $10, we'd be able to meet our financial goals for the month. If we did $5, we'd be able to stay afloat easily. But donate something, please. If you can, if you're so inclined. In the meantime, families, I enjoyed talking to you and I love you. So I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.